Thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. New tonight, Little Rock police have started a homicide investigation after a shooting at the Villas on 65th Apartments in Little Rock. Officers responded to calls this morning at the apartment and found someone with a gunshot wound. The victim was taken to the hospital where he later died. And another shooting left one dead and one hurt in Pine Bluff. Officers responded to East Lake Drive this morning and found a gun lying on the road and someone with a gunshot wound pronounced dead at the scene. Another victim of the shooting was then found a street over. Police say that person ran through a wooded area between the streets and knocked on a door for help. Once found, they were taken to Jefferson Regional with non-life-threatening injuries. We'll keep you updated on air and online at thv11.com for both of these investigations. Tonight, Roderick Hardman is behind bars after a 24-hour search. There was an Amber Alert issued Thursday night after Hardman left with a 4-year-old child. That child is safe today, and Hardman is facing charges of capital murder. We have now learned what those charges stem from. On Wednesday, the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office responded to the call of a body found on East 37th in College Station. There, they found 38-year-old Kiwan Comic dead. Hardman is charged with killing Comic. Again, the 4-year-old at the center of this Amber Alert is home safe now with her family.
Well, it's another weekend where we were tracking showers and storms in the area. Although not everybody has been dealing with it today, we did see some roll through into the overnight hours that were more widespread, but much of the day our activity has been either isolated to scattered. Here's the latest look at our live radar. Most of the activity is in southern Arkansas. A lot of that ahead of a cold front that's already making its way across the state. A closer look, we do have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, one for parts of Washita and Calhoun County until 6:30, and another one for parts of Bradley and Drew County until 6:45. Some of these storms could produce some small to large hail and some gusty winds as well. So that's the latest in terms of the severe weather outlooks for the rest of the evening. They'll be on and off. A lot of the activity should die down tonight. We'll be quiet here in the metro, seeing gradual clearing with mostly clear skies tonight. Temperatures on the mild end in the mid 70s. Another hot afternoon tomorrow, and we're nearing the mid 90s, but we're going to be seeing some hotter days in the forecast over the next several days, possibly seeing the return of that century mark. So more details are coming up.
It's been almost 4 months since the tornado that destroyed hundreds of homes here in central Arkansas. Some areas are still seeing the aftermath and working to clean up. THV11's Ashley Godwin shows us how one neighborhood is continuing to get back on their feet.
Walnut Valley in West Little Rock was devastated by the tornado. Now they're cleaning up a place where the whole community can come together and enjoy. The sound of a Saturday morning, cutting weeds and mowing the grass, but this is more than just the typical yard work.
Some days it's heartbreaking, and some days, you know, we're just feeling so blessed with all the help that's come out.
Walnut Valley is still seeing the aftermath of the March tornado. Houses still missing roofs and debris still lines the road. The community park unrecognizable from before the storm.
I literally, every time I drive through the neighborhood, every single day, I turn down the wrong street because it doesn't look the same.
Neighbors are taking another step forward in the recovery process, cleaning up the park that was once a gathering place for the community.
I've been focusing on picking up the trash so that way people can come in with the mowers and the weed eaters.
Lauren and her husband moved to the neighborhood in December, not realizing the devastation that would soon hit their house.
2 trees had fallen on our house, and we couldn't even really assess the damage until the next day. It was unreal.
Their house is still unlivable, but they aren't giving up. Just like John, who moved to the neighborhood less than a year ago. He's now the HOA president, picking up the pieces alongside so many others, trying to bring the neighborhood back to life.
We moved here because of the legacy of the neighborhood, and so it's very important to get it back to as best as possible, and even better if we can do that.
Even today, like, people are still coming out and helping. We haven't been forgotten.
In Little Rock, Ashley Godwin, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Ashley. Meanwhile, there's plenty of frustration there across the disaster zones left behind by that March 31st tornado. And a lot of that frustration comes from fights with insurance companies. While huge amounts have been paid out after this event, some people found out the hard way that their insurance isn't measuring up.
My neighbors were being housed by their insurance company that night, Friday night. Luckily, I was able to go to my parents' house and I didn't have to worry about that. But the next day I realized I should be able to file a claim as well.
For Yolanda Spencer, getting the chance to even file that claim took weeks. And tonight at 10, we'll show you her experience and the surprising place you should turn if you're in the same boat. Now, since the first medical marijuana dispensary opened in 2019, Arkansas has reached nearly $1 billion of sales, a milestone for the industry. This year, the state legislature changed where the medical marijuana taxes will go. Previously, the money would go towards some state agencies and UAMS. Now it will go towards helping pay off student school lunch debts and more medical residencies to try and help rural areas get more doctors.
UAMS is still going to get money, just not via medical marijuana revenue. So we've gone from $31 million in 2019 to what looks like it may be $280 to $300 million this year.
When voters passed the medical marijuana law in 2016, there were 40 licenses available for dispensaries. All but 2 of those have been given out. And as of right now, there are about 100,000 Arkansans with a medical marijuana card in the state. We have 2 big updates tonight on the fate of the LEARNS Act. The state Supreme Court will speed up that appeals process, but the High Court's newest justice won't hear the case. Here are the details. The Supreme Court agrees to expedite the case, but things still won't resolve before August 1st when LEARNS becomes law. The court ruled all briefs must be due by August 18th. New Justice Cody Highland recused himself from hearing the case, and he gave no reason, but he served as an advisor to Governor Sanders during her campaign last year. The governor's education reform plan is on hold after a lower court ruled that lawmakers didn't vote on it properly. So that is what we will continue following, and the Biden administration announced a new plan to help more than 800,000 student loan borrowers. The new forgiveness plan comes on the heels of a major Supreme Court loss. Recently, the court struck down the president's plan to offer mass debt forgiveness to tens of millions of Americans. With Friday's announcement, $39 billion in federal student loans are expected to be forgiven through this initiative. The new plan allows borrowers on limited incomes to make smaller monthly payments. Then, after 20 or 25 years, any leftover balance is wiped away. The Department of Education says this will fix counting errors for income-driven repayment plans. Summer vacations are now in full swing, and if you're taking road trips, you're probably noticing those gas prices not as friendly right now as they used to be. Nick Shabiara with AAA says we aren't near the record high prices that we were seeing last June, but the trend right now is for gas prices to continue to go up.
We know that gasoline demand is still high, and that could lead to more increases as we head toward the end of summer. If you need gas, get it when you need it, rather than waiting for prices to come down.
Some good news, though. Arkansas has the 5th cheapest statewide average for gas in the country right now.